Hi everyone, it's Will, and we're back to my vlog. I'm sorry I've been a little behind on videos. We've had a lot of crazy things going on, a lot of health things, which is bringing me to what I'm going to talk about today in my vlog. Just a fair warning, before you watch this vlog, I'm going to be talking about kidney stones, which means I'm going to be talking about things that are not pleasant. I'm not going to use specific terms in specific areas, but there will be mention of areas and things. So if this is something that would upset you or you feel is inappropriate for you as you are watching, feel free to click off this one. Alright, so my kidney stone experience. Okay, so on Sunday, not yesterday, the week ago, my daughter had got sick with a stomach bug. So obviously, like any parent, you take care of them next day, or you take care of them, call in to the doctor, bring set up a doctor's appointment to bring her in. So they set it up for Monday. Sorry, words. So I wake up on Monday and I feel kind of ugh, and I'm like, oh, I probably caught the stomach bug, but she still needs to go to the doctor. So I get her into the car, take her to the doctor, and I'm feeling this weird twinge of pain in my lower left back side abdomen area. I'm like, whatever, I'm probably sick, and if this is how she feels, then I feel so bad for her. So I take her to the doctor. They tell me she has a stomach bug and it's going around. Yeah, good, bad, whatever. Then I get her back in the car, start to drive home, and the pain gets a little bit worse. I'm wondering, like, what is going on? This is not normal stomach bug pain, but this is the new stomach bug, so maybe that's what this does. So I'm driving home, and I have to stop at a pharmacy on the way to pick up meds. My daughter had some meds for nausea that I had to pick up. And it's just getting a little worse and a little worse and a little worse. So I finally get home, and I go in, help my wife get my daughter settled down, and I say, I'm going to go take a nap. I don't feel well. I lay down in my bed, and all of a sudden this pain gets insane. It like radiates from my back, starts to radiate around the front. It hurts so bad. So I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm going to throw up. So I got up after literally laying down for like 5 seconds, went to the bathroom, and like it just got worse and worse and worse. So I was like, okay, maybe if I make myself get sick, it'll relieve the pressure. Because when you have a stomach bug, if there's something in your stomach, it hurts. And as soon as you no longer have things there, it doesn't hurt anymore. But so I tried to expel whatever was in my stomach, and nothing. It wasn't coming out, and the pain was getting worse. So let me describe this pain, because this is very strange. Now, I heard that women out there probably understand this pain and know it, whereas men, we never feel this, so this is insane for us. Not saying that, nothing against either gender, either way. What I'm just saying is it's something men are not used to. So it felt like somebody was like reaching inside of me and just squeezing and then dragging across. So if you can imagine that feeling inside your lower abdomen, the squeezing and then a pull toward the center of your abdomen, that's what I was feeling. So it got really bad to the point where I was like hitting the toilet seat. I almost broke it because it hurt that bad. So my wife came in and checked on me, and she was like, oh my gosh, let's call the ambulance. She calls the ambulance. They show up. They arrive at our apartment, and they are asking me, do you have problems urinating? Does it burn? Is there redness? Have you ever had kidney stones? I'm like, no, what is this? This is terrible. Fix me. So they helped me down the stairs and get me into the ambulance, which was kind of funny because like nothing worked in the ambulance, like almost in a joking way, because I'm feeling terrible, but like they tried to use like the pressure cuff, and the pressure cuff wasn't reading, and they tried to use that thing they put on your finger to like check your oxygen, and that wasn't working, and then they tried to turn on their iPad to digitally enter everything on the way to the hospital, and that wasn't working. So they had to like do everything manually, and they had to do all this testing stuff when I first got into the hospital. So we get to the hospital, they get me in, they have me in the triage, and of course you have this obnoxious line of questioning like do you feel like you want to commit suicide or have thoughts of harming yourself? And I'm like, right now I have thoughts of whatever this is, getting rid of it. That's what I have thoughts of, this pain. That's what I'm thinking about. So yikes. So of course, like, I was trying to be as me as I could be while in this excruciating pain. And then, they ask the most famous question of all: is this on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your pain? So me, I'm like, okay, well, 10 is like you broke your femur bone. I heard that's the worst thing you could ever do. So I'm like, well, I can't say 10 because I didn't break my femur bone. So I'm gonna have to say 9. So so I'm like, it's 9, it's terrible. So they get me into a room really quick, actually. I don't think I've ever been in an ER where I was like put through so quickly, but I've never gone on an ambulance. That was actually my first ambulance ride ever. So I'm somebody who just that doesn't happen. I don't get sick, I don't get hurt. So that was crazy. But anyways, so they get me into this room, and the nurse comes in, checks my vitals and all that stuff, and like immediately like, okay, let's get you down to CT. Yeah, they did the CT scan first. Let's get you down to the CT scan. So they did that. No, actually, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. They asked for a urine sample. So I'm like, yeah, I can give one. I can give one. So I'm walking down the hall with this poor little tiny cup, which is like, I mean, do people feel that when you're in the ER and you're in pain? Like, can you actually do that? But whatever. So I give the sample, and it's like crazy dark. And I come back in, and the nurse is like, "You're dehydrated. Happens every time." I'm like, "Thanks, lady." She's like, "Well, they need to go take a CT scan." So they go, so they send me down for a CT scan, which was fun. I got to lay on the bed thing, and it like goes, hold your breath, go in, hold your breath, come out. Ooh, it's kind of cool. So that was my first time in that, too, which was really fun. And then they bring me back and hook me up. I get the IV in, and they're like, okay, you're in this pain. Here's some morphine. Here's some Zofran, and here's some anti-inflammatory stuff, and here you go. So I get it. Now, I don't like needles, so I can't watch them put the IV in. So I'm just sitting there like looking away as they put the IV in. I'm afraid to move my arm. And then like, the medicine finally kicks in, and I'm just like, oh. My wife finally arrived because she had to wait for someone to watch my children. And she was like, "How you doing?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm in pain. Oh, I feel weird," because now I'm in slight pain and have morphine in my system. And then we're waiting. The doctor came in actually pretty quick before I got the CT scan. Said he thought it was kidney stones. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. But we're waiting for lab results and whatever. They had to do blood tests and stuff to make sure everything was what it was. We're waiting, and then all of a sudden I just feel this terrible, it felt like, honestly, again, like a knife going from my side to like the front lower part of my abdomen where my bladder would be. And it just felt like literally somebody was just dragging this knife all the way across. It hurt like heck. I was like freaking out, like grabbing onto the stretcher, like, oh my god, this hurts. My wife had to call the nurse like twice, which didn't really work much because she didn't show up for a while. The person for registration shows up, so I'm trying to do registration questions with them. My wife is doing most of the registration stuff, but she's trying to take all my information, make sure she has my insurance card and all that. And the nurse comes back, and of course that fun question. Oh, okay, rate your pain from 1 to 10. And the lady taking the insurance cracks me up. She's like, I would call that a 10.5 if I had to say. So it was fun. They gave me a little bit more morphine, which made me really drowsy and out of it. But the pain went away. Then they sent me, then we waited a bit longer. I'd say about an hour or so. The doctor came in and was like, hey, you have a kidney stone. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to take. Fine, whatever. We'll do that. So we get, I had to take Motrin and Tylenol together every 6 hours. Zofran every 8 hours. If you don't know what that is, that's just anti-nausea, so you don't throw up. And then I was supposed to get oxycodone for what he called breakthrough pain, which he explained that this 3mm rock was trying to go through this tiny, tiny, tiny tube, and it was very spiky, so it would hurt like heck. And that's all you need to know. You don't need to know anything else about that. But yeah, ow. So we go to the pharmacy, and they have everything, but they don't have the painkiller. Come back in the morning. Fine, whatever. Go to bed. I'm feeling sick. I didn't know that kidney stones can make you feel this sick, but I felt sick as a dog. Everything hurt. I had shooting pains through my abdomen down through my needing to use the bathroom areas. The entire time, I hate to be this gross and straightforward, but I had like liquid for stool the entire time. It was horrible. This is stuff you don't know. But yeah, literally, like I wasn't solid at all. And I just felt sick. I mean, I would end up using the bathroom for like 20 minutes just to feel better. Yeah, it was bad. So I start doing research and find out, oh, okay, there's these things you can do to help reduce the stone once it gets in your bladder. So, I'm taking lemon water, and I had some apple cider vinegar, like 10 milliliters a day. I had pomegranates and cranberries, as much as I could. And I just kept taking, the meds like I was supposed to. Next day, went back to the pharmacy. We still didn't get our shipment. Come back the next day. I'm like, seriously, if I pass the stone and I'm screaming my head off because I didn't have my meds, I'm going to freak. Still feeling sick. The second day was more pain, really, like shooting pains as opposed to anything else, lots of diarrhea. Third day comes around, go to the pharmacy. Oh, well, it's here, but you're here too early and we didn't call you, so can you come back? And I'm like, no, you were supposed to have this 2 days ago. But yeah, so that's fun. So pharmacy did not help my situation at all. Anyway, so we went shopping that third day and came back. And it still hadn't quite passed yet. I was really still feeling pain. I was feeling really nauseated that day. So I was like, I'm going to just call a urologist and set up an appointment. And I set up an appointment and everything. And, went to bed as best as I could. And at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I felt this like sudden urge, like if I don't go to the bathroom, everything's going to explode. So I went to the bathroom, and like I had to pee. And I just felt this like tiny, like almost like if you had a piece of sand stuck in your eyelid, you know what I mean? That weird, like irritating feeling, only downstairs coming out. And then out came this little tiny, like sand, yellowy, pebbly thing that I had to catch in a sieve. Oh, by the way, this whole time, every time I peed, I had to pee in a sieve. That's fun. But anyways, sorry about that. But I caught this little tiny thing, and like I'm trying to move it from this thing into this cup because I want to like analyze it, and like it's so tiny it like starts to disintegrate as I try to put it in. But like literally the pain stopped immediately, which was fantastic. No more pain, no more shooting things. Not the diarrhea. That lasted for 2 more days afterwards. So if you do get a kidney stone, you're going to have some symptoms that last longer than the actual stone. Sorry, I didn't know this. Now I do. Now you know. So anyway, so I passed that. I ended up being able to call the urologist and cancel the appointment. They told me when I scheduled it, if it passed it, to just cancel it. There's no point in coming. And yeah, so then I passed that stone. I got to stop taking my meds altogether, which was good. No Tylenol like crazy. No more anti-nausea because I wasn't nauseous. But yeah, so that was my kidney stone story. I hope you enjoyed that. It was quite painful. I hope I don't do that again. I did find out that I kind of had the perfect storm. This year, as I said, I'm trying to get a little bit more healthy because I'm doing things where I'm going to be in people's faces more. Not in their face, like in their face, but like, like people will see me more in general. So I wanted to look better. So by doing that, I'm increasing my intake of things like nuts, but I didn't increase my intake of fruits, which apparently has the vitamin to break down the nuts, which means that I'm leaving some extra basic little things. They said just think of it as like a drink powder when you don't put enough water in. It's hard. So I had all this extra stuff that needed to be broken down. Plus, I was dehydrated. The day before, as I said, my daughter was sick out of the blue, pretty much. I had been drinking lots of coffee because I was exhausted. I didn't even realize I didn't have that much water. Coffee is not hydrating. If you don't know, coffee is dehydrating. So, yeah, I was dehydrated. I was eating things and not eating the right other things to clear things out. Yeah, so it all kind of was my own fault. Which, fine, whatever, I'll take that. I'll be smarter now. But, so, kidney stones they have reasons for happening. Basically, just stay crazy hydrated, because that is an amazing thing to do to prevent it. A lot of people are praying for me, so I'm not going to discount that. Thank you, God, for making that really small. But also, you know, I really do like reading about the natural medicines and stuff, and I'm convinced that by taking that apple cider vinegar, lemon water, the pomegranates, all that, that it probably did actually put the acetic acid inside my urine to break it down. Ooh, excuse me. Which is what I read. If you use those things while it's in your bladder, it'll put acetic acid in and help break it down. So when you pass it, it's not as big, or it might even come out like sand, kind of like mine did. All right, so that was a fun recount of a kidney stone. I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share your kidney stone fun in the comments. Feel free to ask questions. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a regular guy, obviously, but I'm telling you what I went through, and if that helps you, great. All right, have a great day. Bye.